Okay, we're on our way. It sounds familiar now.
Pond5.com.
Provo Power, we want to be able to let the people we serve know that we're their neighbors. We care enough to make a difference in the lives of everyone who lives in Provo. They depend upon us, and we're here to make the difference.
Pond5.com. 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 Pond5.com.
My name is Carol Minassian, and I've worked for Provo City for about 23 years.
My name is Dwayne Hales. I worked for the city for 28 years.
Brent Davis. I was responsible for the technical operations in the department.
I am Dean Cordner. I was the meter department foreman.
I'm Thomas Lefevre. I was hired for Provo City, October the 2nd, 1956, and I started in the service department.
Pond5.com.
Apparently, back in the 40s, Utah Power and Light, who was the supplier of power throughout Utah, wanted to increase the power rates to be able to help support the growth and all the other things that were happening within the state. And it was felt by the citizens of Provo, some of the citizens of Provo, that it was an exorbitant rate increase that was being placed upon them to support requirements outside of where Provo was. And they went through a lot of legal process to be able to make the arrangements that the city would be able to purchase from Utah Power and Light what infrastructure existed in the city. Then they went to the citizens and had a vote. And it was really the citizens of Provo who said, yes, we want to have a power department. And we want Provo City Power to be our primary source of power. And again, it gets back to the teamwork. We're representing the citizens of Provo who wanted to make a difference and reduce their power rates, and it happened in an incredible way.
So, this is about the top speed for this little outfit. Fuel tank is full, but you can't tell by the speedometer how fast you're traveling.
So we could be going 100 miles an hour, we wouldn't even know it, right?
We'll go fast enough that we stop the honk.
Our next question. What was the most memorable job, event, project, outage that you've worked on?
I feel very privileged that I was able, along with the rest of Provo City, to work on the Olympics in 2002. That's something not everyone gets a chance to do, and a great deal of pride throughout the entire city that we were able to host the Olympics in that year. It just seemed to bring the entire crew, and when I say crew, I mean everyone, together, even more so than we ever were before. We truly were a family during that time.
BYU was our biggest customer, bar none. I remember totally revamping that system.
I think the thing I remember most, and it's probably most striking, was when we found out that we'd had a microburst. Trees had been blown down all over the city, had poles that had been blown over, lines had been snapped because of the trees, had all sorts of problems throughout the whole city. Almost everybody in the department that could be out working was out responding to that outage. And there wasn't anybody who didn't want to make a difference. because we were working for ourselves and our neighbors. And we mentioned that before, but it really did make a difference. And to me, that was probably the most striking, one of the most incredible experiences I've had, because I saw how people responded. And what's interesting is that we were able to restore all of the power in record time compared to what others had done throughout the nation. And it was, again, because of the drive of the people.
I think I had a whole bunch of them. We had good vibes with everybody, with all the departments. People, we worked together as a crew and a team. And I never had any trouble with line crews or other people or the public. They knew what we had to do. They watched us in most cases. We had good jobs, we had small jobs, and then we had large jobs. We got them done. And nobody ever gave us any problem.
Looks like you got it.
Got it.
I think that girl was scared for a minute.
She was looking.
This one, it'll be different for each of us, and this one is, tell us about any incidences or close calls that you had or that you were aware of, and how did it change your perspective?
We were extending a line, and it was supposed to have been 2,400 volts, and we had it built for that 2,400 volt thing, but it turned out that they had changed the voltage. They put a dual voltage transformer up there and had changed the voltage to 7,200 volts. And I went up on the pole to make the tap for the extension of the line that we had built. And I broke the clearance on going up past the transformer. And it burned my hand and my arm and blew it out of this arm here. And I free fell for the 35 feet to the ground. But there was a garage and a picket fence that I landed on, but I laid under the eaves of that building, and it was February, and the snow was melting, and it would drip on my face. And I think when I woke up, that's what I felt, is that on the face. But my hands, they just hung. I couldn't move them. And I think that was another time that I was blessed.
Safety has always been a big issue, a big concern. And there are techniques that are proven that if you follow those techniques, you can be relatively safe. But it means that you've got to have good equipment, working like Tom was saying, he had the gloves. The men were up in the bucket truck working the live line. It means everything was hot. The reason for that is to try to maintain high reliability, getting service to the people. And if there are techniques you can use that keep you safe, they're typically okay.
Shortly after 911, a customer had come in to the office, and I was on the front desk. And I guess you could say this is a close call because he walked up to my desk to pay his bill. And we were all still under the 911 scare. He was carrying a huge black leather bag, and he picked the bag up and slammed it on my desk. And you can imagine what I was thinking was inside that bag. Well, he slowly reached in the bag, and by now my heart had stopped. Some of the other ladies in the office were ready to push the panic button, calling 911. this gentleman reached in and pulled out rolls of quarters to pay his bill. Well, it certainly put a different perspective on my job at that time. We were very glad that simply a bill was getting paid and nothing else was going to happen.
You ever put one of these on?
Nope, never have.
There you go.
I think I made it.
There's a grab handle up there on your right-hand side. Yeah, hydraulic drills now, you know, you're old.
Yeah, that's neat.
All right, we won't get too close to primary. Everything is live. Obviously, there's a big difference in the construction is the steel. It's a lot heavier, you know, we don't have to worry about guy wires like you were talking about on Canyon Road to hold the strain. We've got large bases and cement bases that go down probably 30 or 40 feet. Still the same process to get us there, though.
Yeah.
Did you do much 138 when you were here?
No,
Mostly 46 in
it was
distribution.
46. Yeah.
Loads are going up.
Yeah. Well, the loads have changed.
I think that's the major things that have changed over the years. The construction's
Yes.
basically the same. You know, things are a little bigger, considerably bigger probably, but equipment and safety is the biggest thing that have probably changed over the years.
Pond5.com.
I'm just very thankful that
Pond5.com.
I had 23 wonderful years with a wonderful company.
Pond5.com.
I'm a very lucky lady.
Provo City treated me really well, and I can honestly say I had a job that I looked forward to coming to work.
I just loved the way I worked with Provo City and Provo City worked with me.
It was really wonderful, really wonderful, good time.
It's been a fun experience being associated with these wonderful people. And you've seen us today. We've all shared that experience, that love, that appreciation.
What would you say the legacy of Provo Power is?
Family, it is, and that's really what it amounts to, and it's the pride of the work that makes the city functional. We try to maintain a good relationship with the public and let them know that we're here for them and help them in places that they need help too.
Pond5.com. 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 Pond5.
I'm so grateful. 75 years ago, there were people with a vision of what it meant to have public power,
Pond5.
what it meant to be power for the people, owned by the citizens of the city. There's an attitude, there's a culture of love, of compassion, of caring
Pond5.com.
that is not found in most places. Most places people go to work for a paycheck. I found most of the employees here came to work because they felt like they were going home.
Pond5.com. Pond5.com.